Hey, everybody. How's everybody doing? Let me change the angle. Mila is outside. Maybe we'll bring her in a little later. Just want to, yes, got a nice angle there. Got my water here. Well, hello, SS, hooray. SS, okay, and then hooray. We missed me too. Hi, Kaladi, J. Kaladi. Noel, thank you for coming and helping today. Good to see everyone. So listen, one of the reasons why I have not been filming here at the apartment is because of the protest. It's been very, very loud. I've received some complaints about the noise. So I'm kind of between a rock and a hard place. Do I just stop taping, or do I tape and everybody has to accept the fact that there's going to be sirens, honking, etc., helicopters. So because people want to know, why am I not shooting as much as I used to? I can't find any place quiet to shoot. You can hear noise in the background. You may hear helicopters. There have been a lot of helicopters that seem to like to park above my apartment building. These are strange times. So it's up to you. You're the audience. Do you want me to keep shooting from my apartment? Or is it just so noisy you can wait a couple of weeks until hopefully things die down? It's entirely up to you. All right. So I got some questions delivered. I want to review the remotes from the last couple of weeks because I think it's going to help solidify some stuff. What's going on here? Let me read this. You don't hear anything now? Good. Thank you, Mimi. That's very sweet of you. And I'm glad you're my number one fan. All right. So I want to talk a little bit about previous remote viewings. The first thing is that before I get started on that, I want to talk a little bit about DT's health. A lot of people have been asking me if Donald Trump is okay, what's my opinion about his health concerns. It's interesting because this is not a remote view. I think that people just want to know because they know I'm a doctor. Like, if a doctor sees those kinds of symptoms, where does your head go? What's your DDX? So this is not a diagnosis, but it's something that, you start ticking off when you see the kind of behavior that we saw with Donald Trump at his last, was that the West Point speech where he was having trouble walking down the ramp? Like I said, there are all kinds of things that could be going on. It could have been slippery, like his reps said, and he was wearing leather shoes. It's entirely possible. But it's also possible that something could be going on. So one of the things that caught my attention, it was at West Point. One of the things that caught my attention was that he could lift a glass. Did you all see that? He could lift the glass very smoothly. But he was not able, if you're looking at the angle with Donald Trump, he could lift the glass like this, but he couldn't do this. All right, so the difference between those two movements from a neurological perspective is, one is a gross movement, right? It's a large movement, right? A lot of muscles being used. And one is what we call a fine or precise movement of the wrist or hand. And sometimes when we're looking for an essential tremor, which can be the first signs of Parkinson's, we'll look for that essential tremor. And what happens in Parkinson's disease is that dopamine producing cells and cells that have dopamine receptor sites on them in the brain, there's only about 400,000 dopamine producing cells in the brain. When they die, when they become damaged, one of the things that these cells help is they help with smooth muscles and smooth movements. Thank you, Sue. That's very sweet of you. So what happens as we age is that we may have neurological damage. We may see a decline in dopamine producing neurons. And so these fine movements that dopamine helps produce become more problematic. So I think that doctors were looking at that and thinking, Are we potentially looking at early signs of Parkinson's? Or it might not even be Parkinson's. It just may be an essential tremor. Sometimes you can have an essential tremor when you get older and you don't have Parkinson's. Another possibility is that it's an old injury. Golfers often will have extensive wrist injuries, right? From the golf, right? And so what happens is the joints of the wrist become so damaged, right? That they stiffen up. And it also makes it hard to write your signature, right? So he might have a change in his signature because of damage to the wrist due to repetitive motion, right? So we could just be looking at an old injury from years of playing golf that's stiff. And so this whole area, because he's right-handed, he's sustained chronic mild injuries from golf. And so it's not unusual for me to see a patient like that, either playing tennis or repetitive movements, where I have to work on those muscles of the wrist. So that's a possibility. The other thing with Parkinson's is we'll sometimes see shuffling. And that's where a person who suffers from Parkinson's has trouble stopping themselves. And so they may have a burst of running and then they have to stop themselves. That shuffling and then losing control that we saw towards the end with the president, that could be a sign also of early Parkinson's. So we don't know. The concern, if it is Parkinson's, is that when we see, depending upon the type of damage, neurological damage, if that's what it was, most doctors would want to do some kind of brain imaging to find out if you're looking at potentially Lewy body dementia, which is a type of dementia that's associated with Parkinson's. This is also a type of dementia and a type of medical condition that can be underdiagnosed until it's advanced. And that's basically what happened to Robin Williams. He had Parkinson's, he had signs of Lewy body dementia, but they kept missing the diagnosis. And unfortunately, it progressed. The other thing we know about Parkinson's disease and Lewy body dementia, damage to neurons that are associated with Lewy body dementia and Parkinson's, is that it seems to be associated with inhalants. People who snort cocaine, for example, chronic cocaine use, chronic drug use, inhalants, chronic chemical exposure. And that's because when we inhale these substances, they go up the nose, right? And from the nose, they can get into the first cranial nerve. They can get up into the nervous system and potentially cause damage, irreversible damage to these dopamine producing cells. And so that is why we think there's a correlation between chronic drug use and inhalants and risk for Parkinson's. It's interesting because cocaine mimics dopamine. And it also stimulates dopamine production. So people feel good, right? Because they have extra dopamine. But unfortunately, over time, it seems to diminish function of dopamine producing cells. And that's why we see that correlation again between inhalants, cocaine addiction, drug addiction, inhalants, and Parkinson's. So I just wanted to give feedback on that because I got some emails about it and people wanted somebody with medical background to weigh in. So that's where my head was at. Now, the other thing is that strokes, people obviously had talked about strokes, TIAs, the slurring of words. I don't think that that's what this is because of his cognition when he talks. When he's slurring, this looks to me again more like what we would see with drug use. If you're taking amphetamines, particularly inhalants, you're overstimulated. It's not unusual for drug addicts to take something to level themselves off, particularly at night if they're having trouble sleeping. So that might be a benzodiazepine or muscle relaxant, particularly if you're having spasms. And it's not unusual for somebody with Parkinson's to be diagnosed, prescribed a muscle relaxant like a benzodiazepine. It can help with spasms. And unfortunately, a benzodiazepine like Valium, for example, can cause slurring of words. So again, it's just something as a doctor that I just wanted to give some feedback about that because people are concerned. All right, so I want to talk now about some remote viewings we did. Is everybody ready to talk about the remote viewings? Woohoo! We got 376 people here. I think we're ready to get started. Yeah, everybody ready? Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is I want to talk about Kim Jo Jong. All right, so it looks like her brother Kim Jong Un is missing in action. She is threatening a military attack against South Korea. It looks like it's a very scary situation. I want to go back to the remote we did where she came through. And that was that in March? Does everybody remember when we did the remote view? We did the Kim Jong's feelings about, I believe it was, yes, on April 21st, 2020. We got a remote. It was a pretty strong remote on Kim Jong Un. And here is what he said, April 21st, 2020. He said, I'm on dialysis. I have been on a dialysis in the past, which was new information. We didn't know that was going on. I had an infection, and the infection got into my kidneys. It also got into my heart and advanced into sepsis. I have a long history of diabetes and kidney disease and heart disease. I also am experiencing circulatory distress. I have severe edema. I am blue with cyanosis. So that was April 21st that we documented that. So I wanted to just get that out there. And then we have a remote from his sister that I thought was pretty gosh darn important. If I can just find it. Does everybody remember that? She said that she carried the soul of her grandfather with her. I believe it was around the same time. Sorry. Just want to make sure I get this. I believe we documented it on April 6th, 2020. And what she basically said is she said that her brother was weak and that he was easily manipulated, that he didn't have what it took to be a leader. She talked about the fact that he had a drug and alcohol problem, that he was promiscuous, that he was horribly insecure, that when he became emotionally distressed, he would eat, that he always had a gnawing feeling in his stomach. He was always pushing food down because of this terror, because he felt that he couldn't measure up. He couldn't be what his grandfather wanted him to be. She said he did not disappoint. She said that she used to bribe him with candy, that she would give him candy because they were constantly putting him on a diet, his family was. And because of this compulsive, early on, this compulsive need to engage in addictive behavior to deal with his anxiety. And she said she would, at a very early age, she knew she could control him and she could manipulate him with candy. And so at a very early age, she knew, Kim Jo Jong knew that she was the real leader of Korea. And so because she would not be accepted for being a woman, what she did was she manipulated him from the sidelines. And she almost felt like he was the actor. He was playing the part, but she was the one that was really negotiating things. It's interesting also when you look at the remote we did a couple of days ago, where she was so angry, she was so upset at the West, and so much so that when you go into a remote of Kim Jo-jong, just getting her to talk to you, I mean, she immediately will start attacking you, that the West is evil, the West is horrible. And thank you, Mr. RN. That's very sweet of you. Yeah, we will do a throw on that. So it was kind of interesting. Her perception of the West is that she feels that North Korea is the last holdout, and that they are pushing their religion, their version of Christianity, which she feels is a slave religion. She feels like they're trying to enslave the people of Korea with this Western slavery religion that's going to make them to subjugate Koreans to the West. This is what is her perception of things. So I thought that was interesting to put ourselves in her shoes a little bit. But it also makes her a very dangerous person. She thinks that Trump's a joke. She thinks that nothing was ever going to come of it. And it's just more bribing people with greed in order to get control of North Korea, which she feels is important strategically because you have North Korea and it's right in the middle between South Korea, China, and Russia. And so she's well aware of why everybody wants a piece of North Korea. But she's not in the slightest bit fooled, in her opinion. All right, so we're going to go ahead now, and I think I got through everything. Oh, I have a story. People had asked about the young black men that were found hanging from trees. Did a few people ask me about that? Thank you, Janine. It's very sweet of you. I tried to do a remote on that to try and find out what was going on, and here is what I would say just from putting a being, instead of getting an answer, here is the answer I got from Spirit. And Spirit really wants people to take this to heart. If you are planning to go to a protest, if you are planning to be active, if you're going to Oklahoma, for example, if you're going to any of the protests, it's important for you to have a safety net. So that means that Spirit wants you to be able to go on Facebook, let everybody know I'm going to a protest. Also, which people you'll be going with. Never go alone with a group of people that you don't know. Don't get into a car from a protest with any group of people that you don't know. Always go with a group you know and trust, and always leave the protest with a group of people you know and trust. Never assume that just because somebody is marching, they're on your side. And so when I went into the remote, what it looks like and what I'm concerned about is the protest being infiltrated by people who are potentially dangerous or a threat to the safety of others. And if they're luring people into cars and saying, yeah, we'll take you to the protest. And if you're getting pulled away from your group and you're following along with another group that you don't know, and you're getting into a car with them, you could find yourself potentially in a dangerous situation. So again, I'm not going to speculate, but I am going to just say to people from now on, things are getting really dangerous. Please, please, please don't go to a protest without letting everybody know, in your family, your friends, etc., Facebook, whatever social media you use. Let us know where you're at all times, and who you went with and who you left with. All right, so that was the message from Spirit. Okay, so we're going to go ahead now and do some blitzes. We're here for about 40 minutes, and my time is your time. We're going to start with a simple prayer, and then we'll do a general for the week, and then we're going to go in, and we're going to just do as many blitzes as we can. Sound good? Good to see everybody. Hi, Sheila. Has everybody checked out Celtic Tarot with Sheila? She's awesome. She uses the Lenormand deck, which I'm totally in love with. If you love political tarot and you like the Lenormand deck, Sheila's very good. Celtic Tarot. All right, let's do a prayer. I want to call on white light protection for myself and my viewers as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and our good angels to be with us. Give us the clarity and wisdom we need to empower all of us to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, for the people we love, and even to help those we have strife with. And together, let us say amen. All right, I'm going to do a throw now for all of us in the group, just some wisdom teachings from Spirit. If there's anything that the people watching this, we can give you guys information that's going to help you in the coming weeks. Let's just do a group reading, something that we all need to hear right now to help us get through the coming weeks. Sound good? Thank you, Dorian. You're very sweet. Thank you. Oh, I like that picture, Dorian. Oh, speaking of donations, we raised $800 this month for charity, so give yourselves a round of applause. You do not have to give money to the channel. All you do is watch the commercials, and then the money from the commercials goes to charity. If it's a Trump commercial, you can just mute it and make yourself a cup of coffee. The good news is that the Trump commercial money is to Black Lives Matter and other progressive charities, so everything balances out in the end. All right, where we are at right now, things are moving. You can see a nice chariot card with an ace of cups pushing through. The 11th house, if you're taking two bases, and I know some readers that take no bases at all, they'll do a Celtic spread and they won't look at the bottom of their deck. And it just drives me crazy because I think, oh my God, there's so much information you can get if you take an 11th and 12th card. But so I always take two on the bottom. So the 11th card is the energy we have to push through in order to get to the sum of the matter, which is the 12th card. So 12th card is chariot. So it feels to me when you go into this energy that we're speeding up, that things are beginning to speed up really, really quickly. And we're also seeing this grace coming in, this beautiful energy. Oh, thank you, Ambassadors. This beautiful energy coming in with the Ace of Cups. It feels to me like the vibration of the earth also is changing a lot. It's getting to a very high level, and it seems to be extremely helpful for women. Women are really coming into their power, and even men are also getting this positive energy coming from the earth. Thank you, Deborah. It's so sweet of you. All right, let's go. Let's go ahead and go in. We can see here the first card is a 8 of Cups, which is the ability to walk away from something that you cannot control. Thank you, Ian. Thank you, Deborah. You're very kind. The 8 of Cups inverted is the ability to walk away from something you've spent a lot of time working on. 8 of Cups is also, if it's inverted, it means that there's no walking away now. In plainer words, the energy going forward for us in this country is that we have made our bed and now we have to lie in it. The consequences of the actions of the choices we have made and the actions we have made now is payback. Now we see things are coming to a head. The culmination of all the choices that we as Americans have made. You can see a justice card coming in. So the law or justice or reason comes in, and we are unable to change the karma because the decisions have already been made. We cannot walk away from the situation we find ourselves in right now. What is above us? We feel restricted or contained. What happened is that it's as if America slowly got seduced by other countries because too much of America became built on greed. It happened a lot in the 80s, I think. Everybody was like, how can we make money? How can we make money? And ethos kind of took a back burner, what we thought is our values as a nation. So consequently, we put ourselves in a situation, possibly due to our financial goals or our greed as a nation, that slowly the stability and the foundation of the country became challenged, and we basically bit by bit sold out pieces of the country. That's kind of what it looks like. 8 of Pentacles is moving in the 3rd house, and that would suggest that there are people that know what they're doing, that are hard at work to balance things out. That the arc of justice is long. That it bends towards justice. History. What was that saying by Dr. King? That it bends towards justice. Our economy is going to be a problem, people. So please take care of your economy, take care of your finances, take care of your health, because I don't see the market as stable right now for people. Also, with an 8 of Pentacles, it keeps saying the same thing. Every time I think about what advice I can give people, it always talks about being the master of your own business. All we can be in control of is our own home, our own house, our own choices. And hopefully in that way, be a model for other people. Who do we admire? We admire our masters, our experts, the people that have spent hours doing the best they can at their work. And it's really the only thing that we have control over. And it always comes up that we can waste our masters don't gossip. If you look at The Tipping Point, written by Malcolm Gladwell, what do we know about the master? The master is about their business. He's not gossiping at the office. He's not chit-chatting. He's not hanging out at the bar. He's focused entirely on his work. And it seems to be a repeated pattern we see in the cards, is that Spirit seems to be telling everybody, all you can control right now is your own home, your own situation. The greater picture is the cards are going to fall where the cards are going to fall. And it will not bode well for the people in the administration who did things that they should not have done. Thank you, Miss Tish and Story. It's very kind of you. You can see here in the 8th house, a 3 of Swords coming, and also a confusion card. I think we're really in the dark right now about what's happening both in this country, but also just globally. There's a real feeling of being lost or a lack of leadership. The fact that the 3 of Swords is in the 8th house, and because Trump seems to be, the concern we all share on this channel, I can't help but feel like, particularly with the recent decision by the Supreme Court to support DACA, there's a feeling like the other, who we are in conflict with, is taking a lot of hard hits. I like the fact that the Justice card is crossing this, because it's as if justice, the Supreme Court, or logic, reason, but justice is really about balancing an imbalance, has crossed or stopped a situation that potentially we found ourselves locked into. You can see an 8 of Swords here in the 4th house. To be as still as Samadhi. So this is still the same as in previous remotes and in previous card readings we've done for people. And that is that now is the time for us to know our own business, take care of our own business, take care of our health, take care of our homes, take care of our families, take care of our work. And it's also a time of meditation. You can see the meditation card, 4 of Swords, to be still as Samadhi, to not act, to be still. So it's a time of withdrawing, pulling back, getting your own house in order, getting your own ethics in order, being the change you want to see in the world, and hold back and take care of yourself. Thank you, Miss Sim. That's very kind. What a sweet thing to say. Aw, Renee, thank you. We have an inverted Ace of Swords, a loss and confusion of something related to other man. Clarification, 10 of Swords. Got a beep somewhere. I think we could be potentially seeing some further struggles with people's health, etc. You can see the Strength card here, the Moon card, and an inverted Ace. So it's really important for people in the groups to take care of yourselves. Take care of your health, everybody. Natural medicine, good nutrition. There's a health warning here for the group. Blood sugar dysregulation, alcohol use. Be mindful if you're drinking too much. Moon card can be too much alcohol. Inverted Ace of Swords, feelings of being defeated, feeling of exhaustion. I can't stress enough that there's a couple of serious challenges coming up for the nation in the next couple of weeks, for the planet in the next couple of weeks, and that it keeps emphasizing the same thing. We have to take care of one another, and we have to take care of ourselves, and just hunker down and just try and get through it. That's the advice from Spirit, as best I interpret it. I don't like this coming in, and I don't like this coming in. Really, people, take care of your health. Don't put your make good choices for your health. All right, let's keep doing the blitzes. I have a list of questions about all the blitzes people wanted to get through. Where are they? Oh, here they are. People wanted to know about the influence of the family and the evangelicals, and if they will have any kind of control on the future elections. Okay, hold on a second, folks. I got a million questions here. Somebody wanted to know about Barr also. If we can check on Barr. Yes, we can. Okay. What is going on with evangelical support of Donald Trump and the family, and will they continue to support this president? Someone said that the shuffling was annoying and loud. It's like, how can you do a reading if you don't shuffle? Sorry. The future of the evangelical church and its relationship with Donald Trump and the family, the legacy. An inverted 7 of Cups. No, they're probably going to go with somebody else. It's like God gives the grace, and then you've completed your work, and Jesus thanks you. You can leave now. You can see a 7 of Cups is inverted with a 10 of Cups, 10 of Pentacles, excuse me. In plainer words, there's a legacy card here, but the clouds have parted. Reality is setting in. It's almost as if when you go into the remote or the energy for the evangelicals and the family, they feel that Trump has done his job. He did his job well. They got what they wanted. And now grace is going to shine perhaps on somebody else. That's basically this energy. Let's go further in. The honeymoon is over. Look at that. This is the marriage and family card. It's the wish card. You can see here also the family card, and then the confusion. Look at that. Howling at the moon, in the clouds inverted. They're coming out of a state of confusion, being into the clouds, and they're taking a look at their legacy and what they have built. And a marriage or partnership is coming to an end, and it's being crossed by walking away from a battle that they cannot win. Is this making people feel better? I don't know. What is above them? A new offer. What sits below them? Justice, the courts, putting the past behind you, the business. There was also a business aspect to it, that the evangelicals thought it would be good for business. They thought it would have it would stabilize them financially as a business. To some extent, they feel like they were fooled by this clown. There's a feeling of betrayal that's starting to emerge within that evangelical community against Donald Trump. We can see where they are at right now. Their perception of self is an inverted fool card. And so they're taking a lot of hard hits, the evangelical community. The entire world is yelling at them. The Christian world is yelling at them. And so consequently, they're taking heat from other Christians throughout the world. How could you have done this? How could you have put us in this situation? And it's become a source of embarrassment for many evangelicals as their friends, colleagues, and family, particularly young people, bail out and want nothing to do with them or their church. They took a heavy hit. But look at this. This is where they're at in relationship to this presidency. What is around them? Great cards, right? They partied and they toasted like it's 1999, but the party's over. Look at that, 3 of Cups. And then the hope and the fear and inability to hang it up. They still have some holdouts. You can see here The Nine of Cups, inability to walk away, and the fear that they will not be able to completely walk away. But look at this action reaction. They couldn't walk away because of a business situation. And look at the final outcome, a new beginning for the evangelicals. Let's clarify. Fighting. They're fighting for the soul of the evangelical community. Look at that. But what is around them, they feel, again, trapped by this relationship with the other, trapped. I didn't expect this. I didn't expect, look at that, vindictive. The light is covered, hiding, cover-ups, vindictiveness. The final outcome, lovers, they're going to go somewhere else. They're going to pursue another lover. But this shocks me. Look at that. Look at the conflict. Look at them fighting for the soul of their church. Look at the Fool card. Did you expect that? I didn't. I didn't expect that level of awareness. I didn't expect evangelicals to start looking at their relationship with this president and say, I think we've been fooled by a con artist and the whole entire world is laughing at us and we feel like fools. That is the best way for me to interpret this. Now, if I'm right, we'll start, because people never tell you what they feel until they feel safe enough to say it. So if I'm right, and I think I am, in the next few weeks, we're going to start seeing more and more evangelicals talk like this. I was a fool. The whole world is laughing at us. You know, that kind of feeling coming up. All right, so we have another question about student loans and the Green Deal and what the future economy will be like. Saloms, there was a proper evangelical talking about how trying to wake up the evangelicals, and it's turning now. God, you know, Salom, I would not be surprised because that Fool card was in the 7th house. Everyone's laughing at me. You've made a laughing stock of me. You've made a laughing stock of the church. Everyone's laughing at us. What you have done has sowed seeds of animosity against the church that is going to take us years to repair. How could we have been so stupid? That's the conversation. 5 of Wands? Over an inverted Fool? How do you spin that? There's no way to spin that. That is not good. All right, let's go ahead and we're going to take a look at the future of the Green Deal. I'm getting chills. I'm getting excited. Y'all getting chills now? It's exciting. All right, what's going to be with the Green New Deal? And if Spirit can tell us the future economy. I keep hearing that old song about when we build the New Jerusalem. That song, have you ever lived in the ghetto? It's like we're building the New Jerusalem. When we build, we build, we build, we build New Jerusalem. Know the song? There's a new time coming. Here's the Green Deal. Look at that. So for the new readers, if you're looking at environmental capitalism, green capitalism, and you're looking for creative ways to read the card, I always read my 7 of Pentacles as green capitalism because this is a great card if you want to use it for that. You can see that he has planted a tree. Who comes first in the natural order? There's a good question. Who comes first in the natural order? Like when you go deep dive into a meditation and you go into the other worlds, particularly the lower worlds of Earth, you're connecting with the Earth energy. Who comes first? Gaia comes first, right? She comes first. Every decision we make is for her. She tells us where to plant. She tells us what to do. She is our mother. She feeds us. She gives us food to eat. She gives us clean waters. She sustains us. And so the logical thing to do is to take care of the mother. The mother comes first, Mother Gaia. And consequently, every woman, every mother has a part of her that lives in her. And so because of the imbalances that have happened in the world, women are starting to feel, rightly so, because they are channeling the mother, channeling Gaia. And so are some men, by the way. They're feeling righteously angry that the mother is not getting the love and support she needs. And then women feel guilty. Oh, I shouldn't be angry. No, Gaia wants you to be angry, and then she wants you to do something about it. So Seven of Pentacles is to harvest coin from one's crops or to plant something. So Gaia is flourishing, and then she promises you a portion for yourself. If you take care of me and give me what I need, and you understand that the mother comes first, if we give mothers everything that they need, love, support, food, shelter, safety, educational and creative enrichment, what do you need as a mother to be happy and to be the best mother you can be? What do you need from us, from the planet? What do we need to give you so that you can be a happy mom because you come first? What would the world look like if we all did that? Would there be foster homes? Would there be child molestation? Would there be abuse? No, because if a woman was the victim of domestic violence, she comes first, right? She's the queen. We would all gather around the mother and we would protect her because we understand without her, everything is going down. So this is the Green Deal. The 11th house is confusion. So unfortunately, you can see the cards on the Green Deal. There's a lot of crap we're going to have to work out. We can get there, but boy, there's a lot of confusion about how to implement it. Isn't that interesting? Let's go in. Green New Deal, not going anywhere. Lots of holdups. It's not going anywhere. Greta, what's her name? The activist Greta. She's right. Gretchen, look at that. It's going absolutely nowhere. We're not doing anything right now. There's no deal. There's no communication. There's no conversation. There's nothing happening, going nowhere, failure. This administration has failed to do anything regarding the Green Deal. You can see the confusion we're in right now. This is where we are right now. This is the energy we're passing through. We're going to get there, by the way, but boy, look at this. This is horrible. There are healers. There are people. People have attempted to make it easy for this administration. We can show you how to heal and take care of the planet and even make a profit. But it was beyond what this administration seems to have been able to understand. It was like advanced math for them. They couldn't handle it. Here's the offer of healing. Let's see what the reaction is. Inheritance, money. But it's crossing an Ace of Swords. In plain words, I don't think that the group of people that inherited the White House knew how to implement any of this. They got rid of the people. They didn't have people in charge that saw it as a priority or even, rocky waters ahead. This administration has done nothing and will do nothing to help the environment. And unfortunately, rocky waters are coming. So I think it's just probably going to be bad weather or possibly problems. Yeah. Yes, there's going to be a Green Deal. Yes, we're going to get there. But unfortunately, as you can see with an Ace of Swords failure moving in with the legacy card who inherited the legacy, the presidency, rocky waters are coming due to other deals, the hope and the fear. We need Yehudit. We need a perfect judge or somebody to come in and correct the situation, and towers coming in, thieves attempting to get away with stuff. This is horrible. Not under this presidency. The only way we're going to get student loan forgiveness and a Green Deal is we have to defeat the GOP. These are absolutely horrible cards for the environment. I'm sorry to say. There's nothing positive here. The only redemption is the base card, which is the base of the matter. and the summary and plans. We're going to get there. This is hope. We at least have it in the 12th house. But I can't say with an inverted Ace of Swords in the 4th house that there isn't more we're going to have to go through. I'm worried about flooding. I don't like seeing the 6 of Swords. That's churning waters. That's not good. That can sometimes indicate hurricanes, floods. It can also indicate tidal waves, tsunamis. I don't like that. Sorry, people. This is probably why we're being told to hunker down and take care of ourselves while the crazy is taking place. Okay, so somebody had asked about William Barr and what's going to happen with William Barr. Let's do it. What is going to happen with William Barr's future? Huh. I'm sorry those cards were so horrible. William Barr. There's the virus. The virus is the summary. Ace of Swords. He's doing great now. Look at that. He's got an Ace of Swords in his 11th house. Victory! But look at that. Final outcome or the summary of the matter, the virus. I'm concerned that all heck is going to break loose in the United States because COVID is alive and well. Look at that. It's in the. I read the Knight of Swords as the coronavirus. It also can be violence, aggression, fighting. Not good. He feels like a fool. He's coming out of confusion regarding what is above him. He's got nothing else to give. And an inverted Empress card. I don't think this guy's doing very well. Oh, his time is running out. He knows that his time is running out regarding this administration. Look at that. Nothing's coming out of this administration. He made a deal. He made a deal with this administration due to, I think he's been compromised. I think Barr may have been compromised. This also can indicate for me secrets. Yeah, he's out of there within 6 months. Look at this. This is a 6-month card inverted, and it's also failure. Failure within 6 months, vindictiveness or anger around him, the hope and the fear. Look at this. His final outcome. Hunkering down, the Master's card. He knows his law. He knows how to shirk the law also. A healing coming, what is around him in the grave. I think the president's leaving. Hopes and fears, the scholarship, the final outcome. Strife. We're going to start to see the demise of Barr starting by the end of August, because this is an August card. His energy is waning. You can see here, end of August, and also here, failure within 6 months, attempts to heal a situation, vindictive strife. The other, which I'm assuming is Trump, hopes and fears that he made a calculated error with this guy. But you're going to know by the end, more stuff's going to come out by the end of August, because the August card is inverted. Crazy, right? Is that not crazy or what? All right, so I was asked about Mary Trump. What's going to be with Mary Trump? She's got a book coming out. Let us see what happens as a result of the book. This is his niece, right? Mary Trump. What is going to be the critical response to your book? She's very strong. She presents as Queen of Wands, my way or the highway. She holds the staff of authority. She's very clear-eyed. She knows precisely what she's saying, and she knows that the consequences of this could be irreversible damage between her and her family. Wow. Thank you so much, Kim. It's very sweet of you. Oh, thank you. I think we're going to give to Black Lives Matter this month, but and as well as the other charities that we always give to. But yeah, let me know. Look at this. You can see here for the base card an inverted 10 of cups, which means relationship with family could be coming to an end. But look at how strong she is. Her base is the Queen of Wands. She did what was right. This is what she's saying. This is what I'm hearing in the remote when I look at these cards. I did the right thing. I feel I am solid in my ethics. I am a solid judge. If my relationship with my family changes irreversibly or is over, I am prepared to live with the consequences of that. Dang, she is a strong woman. Can you believe that? Look at that. Isn't that awesome? Ah, I love it. That's what we need, conviction. Death in the grave. What is death in the grave? Yeah, she can never go back again. Look at this. Look at this. She can never go back to her family again. She gave it all up. She sacrificed a lot. Look at that. Dang, how else could you interpret that? She ripped up the contract. Your contracts, your NDAs, your crap doesn't scare me. God, I can't believe these cards. Look at that. You can't bribe me. You can't shut me up. Even if she wasn't paid for this book, she'd still be producing it. Dang. Yeah, look at this judgment. God, this girl is really, dang. This is like a freedom fighter, man. Look at this. Look at the deception. They're trying to stop her from publishing. They're trying to legally stop her. Look at the fighting. Look at the trickster around her, inverted magician, trickery and confusion and gaslighting. They could attempt to delay this for the next 3 months. Again, wand cards being a 3-month period inverted. There's attempts here to delay. Sorry about that, I just dropped that. There's attempts to delay the release of this book, I think. Ace of Cups coming in, Two of Swords. Oh, they are not happy. Hopes and fears. And the final outcome. There's going to be real attempts to... She committed the cardinal sin as far as they're concerned, which is that she spoke about the family. Yeah, that makes sense, House of Lenormand, because you can see here, this is like an NDA inverted, a broken contract here, and then a judgment, possibly the law coming in. And I don't like the fact that there's an inverted Ace of Swords. She could potentially lose a legal case, but she doesn't care. She's still going forward, even if it cost her financially. God, in the grave. I would also fear for her safety with cards like this. I suspect she's getting death threats. All right. So I was asked if I would look at the future of Great Britain. I'm sorry, I don't know all the characters. I think Ian might know who the head of Labour is right now. But we're going to go ahead and look at Boris Johnson, Britain, and how they're handling COVID and all the other crazy stuff that's going on with Brexit. I just want to check the energy of Britain. You know what I get every time I go into Britain? The way to solve a problem is with bureaucracy. Oh, we have a bureaucratic problem, then we create more bureaucracy to deal with the problem of the bureaucracy. Every time you go into a remote on Britain, it's just more and more paperwork until they've tied themselves into so many knots. And so then they say, well, we need a new bill to take care of the old problem. Well, then you got to pass this bill, then this one. And it comes out like that. I'm worried that the economic decisions by the Tories could have devastating implications for Britain. You can see here a page of Pentacles inverted. They lost a ton of money because they didn't know what they were doing. It's almost like somebody going in and playing chess with a grandmaster, and you think you're really good because you can beat your kid's sister. Look at that coin, just a complete disaster. Ace of Cups. It's almost like people trying to bail Britain out of bad decisions that they have made. It's not good. Let's go in. This keeps coming up with Boris Johnson. No matter what happens to this guy, he nearly died from COVID. He's still unteachable. He doesn't learn. Look at that. Guy does not learn. He doesn't learn. Inability to walk away from a situation or mess or battle he's created for himself. See, if we're going to learn anything from Britain or from the United States or any of these countries that are going through this stuff, it's that being stubborn and refusing to communicate or reach across the aisle is economically devastating. Look at the world above. Look at that death. They're really potentially in a situation where they're going to become increasingly isolated, and it's not good. Death inverted regarding the world? That's not good. Look at that Ace of Swords. They've already lost a ton of money. Good God, look at the contracts, and look at they've already lost a battle. And then the new energy coming in is the sun and the world. Well, that's hopeful. Confusion. They don't have anybody leading. Britain has no one leading. Look at the confusion. They need leadership. Britain doesn't have leadership. God. Yeah, look at this. It's all a mental confusion. These people don't have the education, knowledge, or brains to get themselves out of the situation that they have put themselves in. Look at this. Hopes and fears. Look. I mean, I don't want to be disrespectful, but it's almost like they're just people are in charge that don't know what they're doing. I think there's a new administration coming in because the Tories simply look. It goes back to the remotes we've done in the past. They're trying to implement things that are not only not feasible, but are devastating for the economy. I don't see much of a political future with Boris Johnson. Look at that. Oh, jeez. My God. If you're from Britain, I'm sorry. Okay, I got to say this again. I've been saying it for 2 years. Brexit doesn't work. The only thing that's going to work is if they get labor in there and everything starts all over again, this mess, everything starts all over again. The green economy, forgiving loans. They have to get somebody in there who's a green economist who looks at this disaster and says, okay, everything's forgiven. Just get rid of all of those laws, scrap everything. Okay, let's start again, clean slate. Let's start funding and slowly come out of this. I think they're going to have to switch to labor because I've been throwing cards on this for 2 years now, and it never comes out. I mean, it's always they're trying to implement policies that are disastrous, and nothing they do will make it so it's not disastrous. Oh, Mary Trump has a PhD in psychology? Oh, yeah. Yeah, that Queen of Wands, they will tear her. If the family, no matter what the family does to her, she remains the Queen of Wands. So this is somebody with strong conviction. All right, I've been asked. Hi, Sharon. Yes, I will get on the. I was asked about Putin last time and I didn't get to it. So let's go ahead and take a look at the future of Putin. Putin and Russia, and what's going on with the health and COVID. I think that'll, let me just go in. What's going on with Russia, Putin, COVID? Let's just try and get a window in. These cards are interesting today, aren't they, everybody? Hi, Ona. Aren't the cards interesting today? Would you love it? They can't cover it up. That's what I keep hearing. When everything is falling apart and you can't cover it up anymore. That's how it feels. The thieves. The thief has been caught. In plain words, it's because the truth about how much theft took place in Russia, it's like the thief is going to be caught it's going to be caught in his hands, red-handed. I don't know what that means. I think that might have racist connotations, red-handed, right? So we would just say he was caught stealing. Hanged man, hanging up a situation of a thief. What's that about? The coin. The offer. Let's go in. The only thing that seems to be protecting the people of Russia appears to be some kind of potential. He's weakened his opposition, but there's still some power from the courts, from the law, but not much. The health cards are terrible. You can see theft here. You can see a Four of Swords, inactivity, coming out of a situation of constriction, anger, frustration. But the courts, the one thing that Russia still has is there's some power in the courts. The financially devastation due to thief. They're still being ripped off. Look at that. That's actually the base of the matter. So unfortunately, this is missing funds, loss of funds, etc. Appears to be a problem with that Russia is going to have going forward. But the final outcome is the Magician card over an inverted King of Wands. I hope that's not Putin, because if that's Putin, it means he gets away with it. Really, really poor. I mean, Russia's cards are not good. Like I said, the thief is the issue. And I don't like this power of an inverted King of Wands. I wonder what astral sign, is Putin a fire sign? All right, I have time for one more quick throw. Then we're going to go ahead and close. Did I get to everybody's questions? Somebody had asked about Donald Trump if because he was talking about doing a TV show and having his own channel. What's going to happen with the case in New York? Is he going to be charged? Just because Donald Trump is living in a fantasy and thinks that he's going to go have a TV show and everything's going to be okay doesn't mean he's going to get away with it. Oh, Putin's a Libra? Then we could be seeing somebody else, another oligarch or somebody else competing with him for power. Because this is a fire sign male. And the fact that it's inverted means it's a struggle for authority or to hold the staff, and it's inverted, so it has a potentially aggressive aspect to it, like hitting the person with the staff. So it could be that there's going to be a struggle for power in Russia. And if that's true, then the thief gets away with it, flees, takes the money, possibly goes into exile, is wealthy, and then a new leader comes in. That could be another way of interpreting it. All right, so we have time for one more throw. Did you want me to throw on Trump or something else? We'll let people do one more question. Then I have to get back to work. Trump? Ivanka's in trouble because Ivanka signed documents because Donald Trump has a gentleman's agreement with his own children, and so he had his own children signing documents that could be linked to criminal behavior. He's compromised everyone, including his own children. That's the sad, horrible truth about Donald Trump. All right, let's go in and look at the future of Donald Trump. See, Parkinson's is interesting because if he has Parkinson's and he has an essential tremor, then giving him muscle relaxants for spasms like benzodiazepines causing slurred word, that makes a lot of sense to me as a doctor. I mean, oh, okay. He was having some spasms, he was having some pain, and they gave him a mild muscle relaxant for it. That's not unusual. Unfortunately, if it goes up, it can also cause dry mouth, by the way, benzos. They cause dry mouth and slurring of the words. Yeah. Any other doctors here? Any other nurses have a different opinion? All right, look at this. The money, look at that. In the gray, following the money. There he is, first house, let's go in. If he shows up with the first house and he wants to talk, oh, he's caged. This also can be how his body feels. This is what we see with Michael J. Fox. I really like Michael J. Fox because he's been really public about helping people with Parkinson's. And he's also been very public about his past history with cocaine and alcohol addiction and how he feels that has had an impact on his health, etc. But Eight of Swords, when it comes in, it can be a feeling of being constricted or tied down. It also could be spasms in the shoulders, arms, etc., or a feeling that one has restricted movement. What is above? The honeymoon is over. See, I keep getting offers with him, and that he could lose an opportunity for an offer. Look at that. The courts are no longer on his side. Look at that death. He feels that he's lost the courts. Look at that. It's over. The knight who goes nowhere is the Knight of Pentacles. It doesn't move. It's a stopgap. He's been stopped, possibly by the courts. Look at that. Look at the action reaction. It's already over. Look at that. In the grave, death, action reaction. He was stopped. An offer was rescinded. Dang. They dropped the load. What is around him? He's lost his funding. There's Joe Biden. I think he's got another job. Because look at this. This is another coin. He's got a coin here and he's got a conversation. He gets his wish. But this job is over. Look at this. His job is over. It ends. He drops this work. Then some wealthy person, this is like somebody with wealth in the garden. It's almost like he gets another offer. His hope and his fear is his rival, the King of Hearts. He gets his wish over a project. I'm going to throw this one more time because it almost looks like what he really wants isn't the presidency. What he wants is money and another job. Isn't that weird? Don't you think that was kind of weird? Let me do that again. I gotta do that one more time. That was strange. Maybe he doesn't want to be the president. Maybe he just wants money to go back to. He wants to go back to reality TV more than being a president. God, those cards. That was weird. You'd think everybody would want to be the president, but I wouldn't want to be. Yeah, he wants out. He wants out. Look at this. He wants out. He doesn't want to do this. Yeah, he lost the courts. It comes again. He lost the courts. The courts will continue to oppose him. Courts are actually getting extremely strong. He has underestimated the power of the courts he created. He created this. Yeah. Yeah. Depressed. Oh boy, he lost a lot of support. Look at his 8th house, man. Yeah. Look at that benefactor's card inverted. He doesn't have defending his territory. You know what? Oh, his mishandling. Look at this Ace of Wands inverted. There's the clarification. Thank you, Spirit. No, it's finished. His cards are good because he's given an offer to go work in the public sector, possibly in media. By the way, if you're looking for the director's card or media card, it's the 4 of Pentacles. I always think of the pentacle as like a camera that they're holding up. So cameras, imaging. He wants to go back to being a reality star. The truth of the matter is, though, he's probably more inclined to deal with his health problems because he has a lot of health stuff going on. Well, that was fun. Did everybody have a lot of fun today? How was the noise? Was it okay? Not a lot of. I didn't hear any helicopters today, so I think it was okay. Is it a trick to get him out? I wouldn't be surprised. In terms of prosecution, you know that those things are still going on. Sorry about the noise. If he ends up living in Florida, it looked like he was going to try and delay, cooperating with investigations in New York. So as much as he can delay, he will. All right, thanks for the support of the channel, everyone. I will try to get on as often as I can, but like I said, on loud days, it doesn't help. Thank you so much, Susan Fuhr, for the donation. If you're still trying to get in for a reading, you can go to tarotwithwhimsy.com, and I'll see you next time. Peace out, everybody. Stay safe, and do not get into a car at the protest with a group of people you do not know. Please don't do that. Always go with the group you know. Never go alone, and always lead with the group you know. With strength in numbers. Peace out. Bye, everyone.